The first full moon of 2023 is happening on January 6th in the sign of Cancer. Emotional depth, feeling, that's the sign of mother, of nurturing. There's also a little bit of a mix with the Great Mother archetype Ceres, Pallas Athena, warrior goddess, wisdom goddess is also conjunct this full moon. I'd love to give you some themes before I kind of dive into the archetypes that are really playing out in this moon and giving you some practices on how to dive into this. Would love to just share with you 3 themes, overarching themes for this particular full moon, and feel into, maybe which one you're most called to. Maybe it's all of them, maybe it's one, but feel into these. Healing. There's a deep capacity for healing during this moon. I dare say emotional healing, or healing of old emotional blocks. Okay, that's first theme. We'll talk about that. That's Chiron with this full moon. Next theme that I would love to spend a little bit of time with you on is expanded ways of thinking, opening up our minds. Almost like releasing old thought patterns. Like sometimes our thoughts can get into these grooves, or we can get into like repetitive negative thought patterns or sabotage thought patterns. And there's this really amazing potential to kind of like jumpstart our thoughts and the ways that we think into a new way, a way that is more expanded, is more evolved, is more revolutionary. This is all Uranus energy, mixing in with this Mercury retrograde. So Mercury is currently retrograde. Third theme that I would love to dive into with you is clarity. In this Mercury retrograde, Mars is still retrograde, but in this Mercury retrograde, I'm really feeling, because he's in Capricorn, we have a capacity to get some clarity around what has gone on over the last couple of years of our lives. Get some clarity around our highest path forward. Get some guidance or some direction around where we're headed, what it is that we want to, this is Capricorn, what it is that we want to build for the future. And I have a really cool practice that I want to share with you that I shared in our free week of mystery school. So if you're in Gift of the Mysteries right now, deep bow, super celebration, amazing to be with you in that week of mystery school. If you don't know what Gift of the Mysteries is, it's hours and hours and hours of free rewilding workshops that go into your purpose, into your potential. This particular mystery school is based around the awakening of the divine masculine potentials within us, the divine feminine potentials within us, and then what happens when we bring those two sacred energies together in our own being to create a mystical union within ourselves, and what gifts and capacities and potentials come online from there. So yeah, it's big, it's pretty intense. If you're watching this before January 5th, you can still sign up. You can still jump in and get all of that, all of those explorations. It's mystery school proper. It is really and truly the first week of mystery school, which is a 12-week program, and it is a brand new program. So yes, we've been running mystery schools for a long time now, but this is a brand new mystery school, and it's really dedicated to this threefold path, the masculine, the feminine, and that mystical union, and what is all possible for ourselves within that space. So quick short invite to that. You'll find details below. Let's talk about the full moon. All right, let's just talk about Cancer. Cancer is a very intuitive sign. It's a watery sign. So a full moon in Cancer, you want to think of being illuminated. Full moons illuminate. So it's illuminating the depths of our beings. It's illuminating our intuitive. The moon is at home here. Moon is at home in Cancer. So it's like the moon is moony, right? It's very emotional, very feminine, very intuitive. And it's a beautiful time for moon rituals. Amazing time. Like if there was ever a time to be putting your objects, your sacred objects out in the moonlight, I love this one. Little bit of medicine man magic happening in this moon, which is where the healing capacity comes from. I'll talk about that in a second, but let me feel if there's anything else in this Cancer. What's adding to this real mother, Cancer is also the sign of the mother. Moon is obviously mother in the archetypal astrology, but Ceres, Demeter, she's like goddess of fertility, goddess of the seasons. She's great mother, goddess of the harvest. Just a beautiful mother archetype, is playing loudly in this particular full moon. So adding to that energy, it's really rather beautiful. It could, however, let's just play the flip side of the coin with this moon squaring Chiron. So Chiron, wounded healer, brings up things that we are ready to evolve through, or teaches us via woundings. Also the shamanic wounding. So if you think about the gift of the shamanic wounding, oftentimes woundings or illnesses, or just having to, whatever it is that we have to work through in this life, it is kind of our initiation into our wisdom. I oftentimes say with Chiron, beneath our greatest wounds lies our greatest wisdom and our greatest gifts. That's Chiron. But because there's this square happening, can be showing us inner child woundings or inner child healing that wants to happen, can be highlighting mother wounding that wants to be healed or to be looked at. It can be showing childhood emotions that were repressed, sign of Cancer, emotions. Chiron, just like, let's look at this. Let's bring this up to the surface. Full moon illuminating woundings, illuminating what is ready to be healed. And so if we can have some compassion around this, if we can create some space for some of this, it can happen really quickly. There's a lot of grace in this moon with Neptune and Uranus, right? So Neptune and Uranus, outer planets, very spiritual. Neptune's a very, very spiritual planet. Uranus is like radical awakening, rapid change, really good aspects to this full moon. So can bring in rapid shifts, rapid alchemizing of something within ourselves, can bring about mystical healings, right? Can bring about real mystical or ways of changing our perception so that what we thought was a wound is not actually a wound. Ways of changing our perception so that what we thought was a wound was not actually a wound. We no longer identify with the wound, or we no longer identify with being the victim of the wound, or the da-da-da of the da-da-da-da-da, right? Okay, so I think we've explained the healing theme enough. Let's talk a little bit more about where do we want to go? Let's talk a little bit more about the mind opening, because we'll just go off of this, these good aspects to the Neptune and to the Uranus piece. Uranus is going to play a little bit of a louder role in this full moon. Uranus energy is quick. It's that sign of expect the unexpected. So unexpected, but it's also that sign of like quick changes, revolutionary changes, the new coming in. And so this being in a really positive aspect to this full moon can be what's, and hold on here, let me give you this piece too. Mercury is conjunct the sun at this full moon, like 1 degree off of the sun, has just conjunct the sun, I think a few hours before the full moon peaks. So very much the mind is active in this full moon. The mind is being lit up by this full moon. Now Mercury's retrograde. So just retrograde means Mercury has gone within. Mercury's messenger of the gods. He's gone within and he's going, okay, here is what's ready to be seen, to be known, to be dealt with. That's kind of Mercury, but Mercury being very active in his retrograde phase in Capricorn. We'll talk about that in a moment. That's this clarity direction piece. That's the next theme that we'll go into. But Mercury being retrograde in Capricorn with Uranus giving really good aspects to it gives us ways of thinking about things differently. So if maybe we've been stuck looking at a certain problem a certain way. Suddenly we're taken to a different vantage point to be able to see it from a different angle, to maybe find a solution that we never thought was there. Something I would encourage during this full moon is to go right into things that have been repetitive challenges for us, or something that you just haven't been able to figure out or find a solution for. It's such a good moon for illuminating those things, giving us higher vantage points to look down at things, different perspectives to see things from, suddenly a thought or a solution or a third way. Maybe it was like, either I do it A or I do it B, and then C and D and E arises, and you're like, oh my gosh, there were other ways that I couldn't even see before. But it's to create that space, of course. So to create that space and to really hold that intention of, let me see bigger, let me see more. For those of you who are doing the week of mystery school, right? This is stunning. It's stunning that we have all of this. So if you're like, wow, I'd love to dive deeper into this, I would love to have a capacity to see things from a different vantage point, especially this clarity and direction piece. That's a big part of what's happening in this first week of mystery school, and journeys that you can go into and be guided right into. Go to the link below, but you just have to do it before those doors close. So just go check out that link, and it'll say like, sign up quick, or sorry, you'll have to wait until next year, or who knows when we'll do another mystery school or offer a free week of it again. But finding the space or the practices that will give you, it's like just creating the mental space. It's finding ways to alter our state of consciousness. Sometimes it's as simple as just going for a drive. Sometimes, I know for me, getting in the shower alters my thinking and my state of consciousness. Going for a walk out in nature shifts the way that I think. And so think about that during this full moon. What is it that puts me in a different state of thinking? It can be really, really powerful and very creative. It can be extremely creative. Okay, the final piece that I want to talk about is this clarity and direction and purpose. So the last couple of years, right? 2020, 2021, 2022, everyone's like, oh, can we please get out of these things? Yeah. Many of those planets have moved out of Capricorn. It was a lot of Capricorn energy happening, a lot of Capricorn stuff happening. Here's what's going on right now is, yes, we're moving out of it, but because Mars is still retrograde, he's kind of holding on. Mars has been retrograde since September, I believe. Long time. He's just hanging out in Gemini. Been retrograde. Mars is our action forward. And so he's still retrograde. He'll go direct, I believe it's January 12th. You can always Google it if you need to know the exact dates of that. Sorry, I don't have my notes. I'm in the middle of facilitating a massive mystery school, so my brain can't necessarily hold all of these things. My apologies, but I'm at my max capacity right now. But Mars will go direct. We'll kind of free things up, but will take a while. I really feel like I talked about this, Jupiter's in Aries, so it is a launch energy. We're in launch energy. It's like go time. But it's like go time, and then Mars will go direct, Mercury will go direct. It's another level of go time. And then in March, when some of the big planets make their shifts, Saturn shifts, Mars comes out of his shadow phase, finally moves forward of where he's been retrograding in Gemini. That's another huge launch forward. So if you just think about this in incremental steps over the next 6 months, it's like launch now, yeah? And then launch again when Mars and Mercury go direct in the middle of this month. It's like another boost of energy forward. And then come March, we have another whoosh boost forward, all supported by this Jupiter in Aries, right? Which is go. It's like pioneering. It's go time. It's fiery. It's make stuff happen. It's pioneering to the new. So just feel into that for yourself. And launch doesn't have to be something business related. Sometimes we hear the word launch and we're like, oh, that must be business related. No, it could be like launching you into your next relationship. It could be launching you into your next level of self-love. It could be launching you into your next level of spiritual awakening. So let's not get too close-minded. Let's let this energy of this full moon, right, open our minds and expand our ways of thinking and expand what we think is possible. Tiny little bit more around this clarity and direction piece. Mercury as messenger of the gods is able to go, here's what the last couple of years has been about. Not to take us back into it, but to like, there's a few more little loose ends to tie up. And by tying up these few little loose ends or letting go of these last little bits of things, or getting this little last piece of wisdom that you didn't quite get, like, I'm gonna bring all of these things to you so then you can again rocket fuel forward, like rocket launch forward into the future. But in this, like, if we can allow this messenger of the gods to be a messenger of the gods, we don't get the trickster energy then, right? Mercury is trickster, is known for being trickster, right? And Mercury goes way beyond don't sign contracts, right? Or your email is not going to go through, or whatever. Like that's the most like mundane surface level expression of Mercury. He's messenger of the gods, and he wants to bring you that which we've missed, or that which we're ready to see. And so because he's in Capricorn, he's giving us insights around the last couple of years, like, hey, this is what was going on there. Hey, this is what Capricorn is like, Mr. Miyagi, lesson. Like, I want to show you this lesson. This is karma that you're working through. Like, Lord of Time, Father Time, Lord of Time, Lord of Karma, Father Time. That's Capricorn energy, right? It's also like structures and foundations. And so it's like, okay, here, we're still just giving you a few more pieces. Here's what you've missed. Here's what else to look at. Here's what else to let go of. Here's what else to revise, revisit, refresh, renew, reanalyze, right? So then we get clarity so that we can go forward even more aligned with our deeper desires, our truth, our true selves, our deeper desires, right? That's it. I love this full moon. How do I even end this conversation with y'all? I don't know. Huge full moon blessings. I hope that you join me in this mystery school. Astrology, like, if you've only ever done an astrology video with me, like, this is not even what I do. This is not even what ReWilding is about. I know we have so many videos on astrology. This is not even it. Like, this will sound funny. This is not my zone of genius. This is like my zone of competence. It is, really and truly. My zone of genius is mystery school, is going into the mysteries, is experiential journeys, is spiritual awakenings, is diving in and opening up to our deeper purposes and our greater potentials within self, is awakening our divine feminine. We all have a divine feminine, is awakening our divine masculine, is bringing them into a mystical union, right? And so if you've never done anything like that with me before, I just invite you to come and do it, right? If you're here hanging out and doing astrology, imagine like if we were hanging out and I was actually doing what is I feel like what I came here to do, what is my deepest calling, and what is my genius. And I'll leave you with this around this astrology and for yourself, is this year going forward is a year of stepping into her zone of genius. It is a year of really getting clear and narrowing in on, this is who I am, and this is what I came here to do, and this isn't just what I'm competent at. This is what I'm uniquely wired for. That's something that I know I'm going to be holding so tightly this year, and I just invite you to feel into that for yourself. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. Oh my gosh, so much love to you. I hope I see you in the week of Mystery School. Would love to just share that with you. If you miss it, come join the Facebook group. I'll put that link below. You'll at least be able to watch the live replays. There's a couple of live replays. There's a lot of posts. There's a lot of good magic stuff happening in there. So I hope to see you in both. And just Happy New Year and happy full moon. Mwah.